How's it going, everyone? Ryan again. Sorry for not having any videos lately, but been a little busy with work and Christmas and whatnot. But finally getting back into it a little bit, and want to show you what I went ahead and did the other day. I saw an ad on Craigslist for a guy. Well, I mean, that sounds bad, but saw an ad on Craigslist. The guy was selling a car for stupid cheap, and it's on the other side of the state. So I went ahead and bought it. So I'll show you what it is. It is, let's get around over here. I'm gonna switch the camera real quick. That way I have to do any funny angles, but yeah, 240. But yeah. So I drove 3.5 hours and picked up a Z32. It's a 91 Nissan 300ZX factory twin turbo car. I'll get to that in a little bit, but yep. So we drove all the way to Rexburg, Idaho, which is about 3.5 hours. And the guy was originally asking $425 for it, an original twin turbo car. But he had the VG torn out of it. So he claimed it had bad head gaskets, but he's got the exhaust, all these other parts for it in here. And he was wanting not a whole lot for it. So I went ahead and, when I saw this ad, the first thing I thought was, $425. That's pretty good. So I went and talked to my dad. He's got a 90 300ZX twin turbo. The engine's bad in that one. The guy he bought it from left the top of the engine open, left the hood off of it, and got the weather and the snow all, into it and locked that thing up. And I think that engine had a rod knock too. But anyway, so I talked to my dad, and I said, hey, if you want if you want to go in half with me, you can have all the engine stuff for your car, and I'll keep, the basic, like, chassis and the transmission and stuff like that. We'll split it about, $220, $200 each. So he agreed. So yeah, we hopped in the truck, went to Rexburg, and paid the guys money. And yeah, so $425 later, we've got an original factory twin turbo car and a whole lot of parts. So the guy did say to bring our own spares, so I went ahead and brought a full set of my my Graham lights I've got. Used to run these on my 240, but it's just the tires are bald and I just haven't had a chance to change them. But they're a really aggressive wheel, 18 by 9.5 with a plus 12 offset. So we get there, it's about, well, we left Boise about 2 o'clock. Didn't get there until probably close to 7, because we were taking our time. And just with weather and everything, don't want to go 80 miles an hour with an empty trailer behind you. This doesn't seem like that good of an idea. So we get there, get the trailer all backed up, put the tires on it. We're wheeling it up the ramps, and then we realize the wheels are too wide. And I noticed that they had some 50 millimeter spacers on the front, so we went ahead and took those off. And finally got it on the trailer with a little bit of room to spare. As you see, it's just about rubbing on that side. I actually did, rub a few times on there. Kind of upsetting, but, what do you do? So then it came to putting the back of the car on the trailer, and that took such a long time because the trailer was a little cockeyed compared to the rest of the car. And then with the Graham lights on the back, as you see, it is pretty much rubbing down there, just about. So imagine that on both sides. Luckily, the guy had that tire sitting there, and this wheel. So it was the only thing we could do was to grab a wheel without a tire, throw it on there, and drag the thing all the way up. The other thing the guy didn't tell us was the guy he bought it from only took half of the drive shaft out. We didn't notice this until it was, most of the way up on the trailer. So the drive shaft was actually pinning itself to the side of the car body, as you can see up there, so causing the rear tires to lock up. All in all, it took us probably close to two hours or so to put this damn car up on the trailer. And I thought to myself, if it was this much of a pain in the ass to put it on the trailer, what is the rest of the ride home going to be like? And that's when I thought wrong. So we get the car loaded up, we're leaving Rexburg, we fuel up, I make a post on Instagram because, you know, I'm pretty excited. And then on the way back home, we get a little outside of Twin Falls, or a little outside of Jerome, which is outside of Twin Falls, which is another bigger city in Idaho. Not very big, but so we get to Jerome. We're running into a few snow flurries, and you know, like I said, the speed limit all across Idaho on the highway is 80 miles an hour, which is kind of nice when you're in a car. But you know, when you got a truck and a trailer, you want to go pretty, you know, a little bit slower. And with the weather that was going on, you know, some snow flurries, looked kind of icy. I was maybe doing 60 miles an hour, and then we were going. Felt the trailer slip a little bit, you know, in the back, and I was just kind of like, oh shit. So went and turned the cruise control off, and as soon as I did that, we must have hit another piece of black ice, or must have hit a piece of black ice or something, I don't know what. And then the trailer started to fishtail across both lanes, and we ended up going across the right, you know, through the left lane, sliding, and then we ended up in the median. Truck and trailer were pointed the opposite way. Thankfully, somebody stopped super quick, and you know, first thing I did as soon as everything stopped, I jumped out of the truck. So I'm sitting here thinking like, oh fuck, you know, our tires are gonna be popped. We're gonna be stuck out here in buttfuck nowhere, and you know, we're gonna have to call AAA or something. I don't know. But so I jump out. All the tires are still full, surprisingly, and by the time I check all the tires, a highway patrolman jumps out, or stops, and he's making sure everybody's okay. You know, we're like, yeah, we're fine, and he helps us get back on the road, you know, and like kind of leaving his lights on, that way people stay out of that left lane. And luckily enough, I put it in 4-wheel drive, and we just take off, and we drove the rest of the way home. Next thought that kind of crossed my mind was, you know, like I probably fucked up a tie rod or something, but luckily not, I didn't. So there's that. We were doing maybe 45 the rest of the way home. Didn't get home until almost 4 a.m. And Sunday. No, it was Saturday. It was Saturday. My girlfriend left to go on a cruise with with her aunt and uncle and a lot of her family members. So they had to be at the airport by 4:45. I didn't get home till almost 4, so and then I had to work the next day, so I've been trying to catch up on sleep and everything. But yeah, so I'll probably make another video here pretty quick about, you know, with me unloading out the trailer and doing a quick walk around. But thought I'd kind of share that story real quick and show you what I got. So got another project to add to the mix, and maybe one day it'll be done. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.